My name was in that manifest. But in the last moment, I told the protocol guys who were managing our trip to please remove my name from that manifest and put it at a later flight to enable me go visit my son who was at Loyola in Abuja at that time. That was how my friend Wale and myself missed that horrible air crash. And then all our friends, all our colleagues, 6, 7 of them that we went to work in Abuja, all of them, perished in that flight. And that was one of the saddest moments of my life. But something happened to me after that. As I went back to the hotel room, I asked myself, suppose I had been on that flight, what would have become of my family? It was shocking. Throughout, so the next day, we flew back to Lagos. And as I was in that plane, I could not talk. I was petrified about the state I was leaving my family should that thing have happened. Because if I had died, my family literally could not have paid the next rent. My family could not have paid the next school fees for my children. There was no money. My family couldn't have lasted for 1 week based on the money I had. Imagine leaving a young family at 47. Imagine at 47, I did not have enough money to take my family for 1 month should I have died. This thing is a burden in my heart because many people are not ready. Many people are not ready financially. It's a wake-up call because your money might be in danger of quietly running out even while you are still very much alive. And then talking about that, have you also observed that people are living longer these days? Meaning, if you are 40 or you are 50, you're in your 50s or you're in your late 30s, the risk of your money running out while you are still alive is very high because you still have 40, 50, 60, even 70 more years to live. Money can work better and harder for you than you can work for it. And this is why this coaching session is critical because it's telling you how to make sure that your money outlives you. Because you even want not just to have enough for tonight, you want to have something for the next generation. That is what generosity is about. Okay, so what is the real problem here? You've been working, you have been saving, you've been trying to be disciplined, but it feels like, you're stuck on one spot. Why is that? Because saving alone cannot fight inflation. And then the interesting thing is that inflation is the enemy of generational wealth. Therefore, part of your wealth building strategy has to do with protecting your wealth from inflation. So, a future you haven't invested for is a future you're secretly planning to borrow. Because if you're not investing for the future, you are left with only 2 options. You borrow or you beg, and none of it is a good option. Okay, so now the solution to that is to shift from saving only to saving plus investing. But there's a system. You automate this thing. That as money is coming in, it's not going into savings account. It's going into investment account. So why do stocks matter? Every day, I hear all kinds of stories, pitiable stories. And so that makes the stock market sound very scary. So you hear, somebody came to my, comment, just to the comment section of my post today. I said, never invest in Nigerian stocks. It's a scam. The Nigerian stock market is a scam. I put in money. I invested in 2008 and 2009 and that money went. And then there was another one that came and said, I borrowed money. I borrowed 260 million and then bought IPO of a bank and then nothing came out of it. And then he says, therefore, don't even invest in Nigerian stock market. And then he says, I invest only in foreign stocks. So when you hear such very, very ignorant statements, like pitiable statements, you just wonder. And that's, it just shows, it's disguising, like I told the guy, you're just afraid. And your fear is disguised as wisdom. And he called it lesson. that he learned his lesson in 2008. And I said, some lessons disguised as wisdom. The root of all fear is ignorance. In the southeastern part of Nigeria, there was all this fear of Ogbanje. Ogbanje, it was a phenomenon where a child is born and then they believe that that child comes back again and again to torture the family, and that the child dies and then comes back, dies and comes back. But when we unmasked it and discovered that this thing was sickle cell disease, that was how the fear of Ogbanje went. The same way, for some people, the stock market is Ogbanje. Can I shock you? You are saying stock market is a scam, stock market, but you use the products made by these companies every day. What do you think is a stock market? The stock market is all around you. You are playing in it. It's just that you're busy funding other people's wealth. Jim Ovia, I understand, is getting a dividend of 25 billion this year. I don't even know what Dangote's own will be, or the BUA cement guy. And that money is coming from you. Because every time you have used Zenith Bank app, you're making Jim Ovia. So that dividend, where do you think it came from? The charges that you pay to use the bank. And then some people are making a lot of, you call with MTN, with Airtel, with all these calls every day. That's the stock market. Because every time you buy data, every time you buy voice for your MTN phone, you are participating in the stock market. They are making a profit. And at the end of it, people like us who invested in it, who for us, stock market is not Ogbanje like it is for you. We make money. So that's the thing about stock market. So when you buy a stock, you are buying a share, a slice of their profits. So many of you who said, oh, I lost money in the stock market, what company did you invest in? You just go to the stock market. Oh, Awoke Tech. This is cheap. It's selling for one kobo. You now put in a useless company that is not producing anything, that people are using every day, that's not making whatever, and then your money disappears. You go, oh, the stock market is a scam. No, you are ignorant. You don't know what you're doing. Okay, so the thing is, you have spent all your life funding other people's wealth. Isn't it time that you own the slice of it? That's what the stock market is all about. Okay, so what are the practical steps, for you to start today? It's not as complicated as it is, so don't make it complicated. Number one, pick a safe platform, a licensed platform. If you're in Nigeria or West Africa or some African countries, you can use a licensed stockbroker. Like in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I use licensed stockbroker. So in the description of this video, I'm going to give you a link where you can see a list of all the licensed stockbrokers, because you must never make the mistake of investing with a stockbroker that is not licensed. Step number two, start small. Don't wait until you have accumulated $1 million, $500,000, 1 billion naira before you start. Start small. You can start with 5,000 naira. In dollar, you can start even with $100. There are people who start with $50. So start small, okay? And then, number three, automate your monthly investing or your weekly. All right, so make sure that no week passes without your investing. It's small, but be consistent. There was even a time last year I challenged myself that every day I must invest something. So we learned the everyday money system where you make money every day. You spend money every day. Some of you receive 7, 10, 15, 5 debit alerts every single day, and no credit alert until the end of the month. 1 credit alert versus about 140 or 200 debit alerts. That is terrible. That's not good for cash flow. Okay, so you automate it, and then you can say at least every week, I will invest a certain amount of money. Don't worry about how small it is. I have bought shares for 300 naira, 200 naira. I have bought, you can buy, even with something like that. Okay, so what do you avoid as a beginner? Don't follow hype. That's number one. There's a lot of hype. This thing is not a get rich quick thing. You still have to learn. Like I tell people, the money is not in the stock market. That's why all those people have been losing their money. The money is not in the stock market. Where is the money? The money is in your mind. That's why it's important that the most important investment is investment in your mind. Because if you don't understand it well enough, you will lose the money. Don't follow hype. Don't jump from stock to stock. Okay? And then don't wait to understand everything. Start. Then start learning. Okay? Stay consistent and then you learn as you go. So, because waiting for perfect understanding is how fear dresses up as wisdom and keeps you broke. What is the action plan? What is the action plan right now? So I want you to comment in this comment section. I want you to commit. I want you to say, I am starting today. I am starting today. You know, your future self will thank you that you're starting today. So, number 2, download my book. That's my book. I'm also going to put the link in the description. How to invest and earn in the stock market. So I'll put the link in the description. Start from there. It takes you as a beginner. It's virtually a step-by-step guide up to how to buy your very first share, how to buy your very first stock, how to decide which stock should I buy first, what kind of stocks do I buy, when do I sell. So finally, financial freedom doesn't come from luck. It's not gamble. It's not luck. It comes from a decision. Then it becomes a habit, which is repeated until it becomes your new normal. That's how financial freedom happens. And then I believe in your future. God answers prayers, but He also gave you a head. He gave you hands and He gave you feet to execute. Because the freedom is not just in sitting down and gathering knowledge, but in implementing. And whatever happens, keep showing up because you have no idea what's coming your way next.